gym and I just wanted to show you this is what I look like. This is not the color of this shirt. I am drenched from head to toe. Look at my hair. I'm gonna shower, I'm gonna do my Wim Hof, and we're going to get this day started. Good morning. Now that I look like a human again, we can get started. So I'm gonna make some breakfast. I'm gonna show you what I eat today. I'm so sorry about that annoying noise. It's the leaf blowers. So today what I wanted to do is show you what I eat in a day, and then also do a very realistic kind of midweek view of my pantry and my fridge to show you what I have in there, all the good stuff. And if you're new around here, hello, my name is Marina from Soul in the Raw, and I make weekly videos about veganism. I make recipes, vlogs, tips, and everything is whole food plant-based, meaning it's super, super healthy. So now let me show you my breakfast. For breakfast, I had this beautiful overnight oats bowl. And I have to say, like, when you have good fruit, the oats taste so much better. So I have these pomegranate seeds, cacao nibs, and then my oats were just soaked in water overnight. I do that in the beginning of the week so that I have it for the week. And some persimmons. Those persimmons were so sweet and delicious. Fresh blackberries. And I have some almond butter there on the tablespoon. So good. I really crave fats, so I try not to have way too much fat, but I love my fats. I love them. And then some medjool dates and pumpkin spice for the season. It's also an amazing spice for antioxidants. It's really rich in antioxidants. And then turmeric, which is a great anti-inflammatory, and you don't really taste it in the oats. And then some black pepper, and I always have to have something green, at least a little bit. So I garnished it with mint, and it was really nice and refreshing inside of these beautiful oats. This is my silly Billy baby girl. I had to show you. Oh, I woke her up. She's very upset. But she has this thing. You know how cats are just creatures of habit? She has this thing where she sleeps on. And my mom left her this one, which actually gets heated. And I know that she gets so cold at night, but she literally refuses. And all she wants is her comfy creature of habit little bed. You know what I mean? I think humans are just like animals. We do the same thing. We're all creatures of habit. Now I'm going to show you my fridge. So on top we have bananas so that they ripen faster, and it's a great little trick. And I also have a whole blog post with tips on how to store stuff and just your whole pantry. So check that out. The blog post is going to be linked in the description. And this is our very little packed fridge. So we have some blueberries, we have some wild brine kimchi, and we have some homegrown daikon radish. So exciting to grow your own stuff. And then I always have some leftovers in like containers everywhere. That was jackfruit I cooked. And then you see lots of greens. We have romaine. In there we have more romaine. And then in that container, the plastic one, it stores greens really well. We have kale and green onion and parsley. I highly recommend storing stuff that way. Getting away from the plastic, I know. And then pomegranate seeds, which I buy locally, and it just saves so much time when they're already de-seeded. And some blackberries. So we're trying to transition away from plastic, but we still do use it. Just realistic. This is my favorite tahini, and then in that jar was ginger that I pickle myself. You can see how in my previous video I explained it, and I used it for the sushi bowl. And then we have some avocados that are already ripe and soft, so we move them to the fridge. Some garlic. I don't eat a lot of garlic. Do you? I'm not a huge fan. What about you guys? And then we have some ginger and some turmeric and tofu and tempeh. And these are chickpea breadcrumbs. Pretty cool. So they're just chickpeas. They're one ingredient. And then we have some broccoli and some celery. I love broccoli. I hate celery, but that's for Tomer. He always likes having like weird veggies around, or just like an array. That was jackfruit. That's the celery, and pineapple, which is really ripe, so we put it in the fridge. And then we have some organic zucchini. We don't buy everything organic, but most things. And then we have some cooked black beans. Always good to batch cook your black beans at the beginning of the week, so you have it in your fridge for the whole week. And lots of greens. So we have arugula, and then we have a mix underneath it, some strawberries, and more romaine, and more romaine, just lots of romaine. I can honestly, like a rabbit, eat my romaine. It's so good. And these plastic containers, they're reusable. They're my favorite way, the one with the red top, of storing the greens. And then we have some jungle peanuts in the back. So the things that I don't use that much, I put in the back of the fridge, and that's one of my tips for you. And then lentils. So all my nuts and seeds and my beans and my grains, I put in the fridge. And then in the drawer, we have eggplant, we have radicchio and carrots and turnip and spicy peppers and walnuts in their shells. And then these bags are awesome. I highly recommend using these bags. So this is cauliflower, and then we have some Persian cucumbers. These bags are really great. They're reusable, and I'm trying to use them more and more for all my veggies. They don't do as well with greens, however, but I love them. Okay, now for the door, it's just a little bit packed. So here I'm storing all the condiments. So we have sriracha, we have some olives, and I always check the ingredients, even on my condiments. It's very important. And then coconut nectar, which is like a sweetener that I'm not really using anymore. Just the rest of it. And then this is local salsa and capers. We love our olives and our capers. What about you? Do you like capers and olives? Let me know below. And then all our supplements. So we have some like enzymes and probiotics and B12 and vitamin D and some supplements that are really good for your teeth. That's them. Yeah, we're just trying different things. And the hemp oil that you see, I don't use any oil, as you know, so that hemp oil was just given to me by the company, and I use it for my hair and my face. And then we have some Brussels sprouts, and again, as I mentioned, I store my beans and my grains and my nuts and seeds in the fridge because they last way better that way. And this is a really great sprinkle of flax seeds that really helps you get extra flax, sunflower seeds, and almonds. And then more condiments. This is a spicy one that actually Tomil made and fermented. Some cacao nibs. I love putting them on my smoothie bowls. Mustard. Lots and lots and lots of mustard. We love our mustard. This is a Thai kind of Thai curry paste that is vegan, but always check because sometimes they put fish sauce in there. And then this is, we love spicy food, so we have a bunch of different hot sauces. We have Tabasco, we have that one, and then pickles that I made. So we ferment a lot of stuff we love too, and also mustard that I made. Let me know if you want to know how. This is watercress, which is very bitter, but it's really good for you, and cabbage. They're both cruciferous veggies that we like to add to food because it's really good for you. And then fresh mint, and that was tamari. And then I have a bunch of nut butters. So I have almond butter, I have my favorite tahini in there, Brazil nut butter, which is really good, but very, very fatty. So we have it in kind of small amounts. And then more tahini. I haven't tried this one. I'm excited to try this brand. And yeah, that was pretty much that beautiful door. And I just wanted you to see this amazing quote that I really, really like. And I just want it to be a reminder for anyone undergoing any challenges in life. And then this is our freezer. So in the freezer, we have bread, and we mainly have grains and beans and frozen fruit and veggies, which make life a lot easier. We store our grains and our beans and nuts and seeds in here because it really prolongs their shelf life. That's frozen edamame, which is so clutch when you're like starving and it takes like minutes to make. It's great. And also chopped vegetables, you know, it's just a great go-to. But all of these grains and nuts and seeds and beans, they can oxidize if you keep them outside the fridge, so it's really, really nice to keep them inside. And then I wanted to show you I have ice packs because I like to pack food like when we go out, so I like to have those. And then we have sprouted corn tortillas, frozen bananas that we freeze ourselves, lots and lots of those, and lots of different frozen fruits for our bowls, of course, and flax seeds and sesame seeds. And now we move to the pantry, which is dispersed in many different places. So I have a bunch of tea. I'm Ukrainian, so I'm obsessed with tea. I have tea everywhere. Lucuma powder, nutritional yeast. This is the only brand that I buy because it's not fortified. And then we have cacao nibs, cacao powder. You gotta have chocolate in your life. It's very important. Tomato paste, which is great for, you know, making tomato sauce and etc. And then in the other drawer, we have mulberries, we have sushi nori to get our iodine. I love this brand. Not everything is vegan, but they make really good dried veggies and stuff. And then wakame and oats, which are better stored in the fridge, but there's no room. And then we have like puffed amaranth. What else do we have here? More nutritional yeast. I literally have it everywhere. And that's baobab powder. It's like a random, very high antioxidant superfood. And then I have a bunch of green powders as well, just in case I don't have fresh greens on hand. I use these. Just the more greens you can get into your diet, the better. So I like to get those in. And I can't believe I'm showing you this, but this is like my extras space and it's really messy. So just pretend like you didn't see it. And then this is very easily accessible, a drawer that I really like. And I have a lot of other like condiments and spices in there. So I have some dals and I have some smoked sea salt and like a bunch of spices that I use a lot. And then I have some coconut aminos and ume plum vinegar, which is really good and salty. And then date sugar. So that's my main sweetener that I use, like date syrup and date sugar. And I'll show you the date syrup right now. Before that, I showed you the molasses, which tastes like crap, but it's really good for you. And then we have more like hot sauces and vinegars. And that's my spice addiction drawer. So just in case you want some spices in your life, I literally have like every good spice in the world. So I will link my list for you below. And then these are very optional superfoods that we have from Navita. So I really like to add to smoothie bowls. And we have green tea, matcha, very good for you. And baobab powder. And then this is our fruit stash. So we just have a whole bunch of random lemons and of course persimmons because it's winter and it's the perfect season, and mangoes that we really shouldn't have bought. Actually, my dad left those for us when he was traveling and he was like, take these away. So tons and tons of persimmons because they have to ripen. So we get a lot. And then potatoes and sweet potatoes and cherry tomatoes are all in there. And this is the beautiful lunch/dinner. I like to have pretty big meals, so sorry about the noise, by the way. This was kind of like a late lunch, so I'm gonna make like a Korean style bowl, and I'm gonna marinate a bunch of carrots in brown rice vinegar. That's actually also the radish that I told you was homegrown, so that went in there too. So I have date sugar and I have some vinegar, and then I'm just adding water on top and mixing it all together and just letting that marinate while I make the rest of the meal. So for our beans, we have some tempeh, and I recommend cutting it very thin because then it really absorbs like whatever sauce you put into it. So this time I'm doing little cubes. And that also, you don't need to cook, you just marinate it while you make the rest of your food. So I'm gonna use kimchi since this is meant to be Korean. I'm gonna put a bunch of kimchi in there, so put the juice as well. And I actually found that it wasn't like super salty, so you can always add some tamari to it. So let's assemble our bowl. We have quinoa, carrots, we have the kimchi, cherry tomatoes, and arugula, and bok choy that I chopped up, and then some green onion, and lots of tahini. Trust me, I added more than that for sure. And then some more kimchi sriracha sauce, and this was really, really yummy. Absolutely delicious and flavorful and beautiful. And then as a little snack, I was still hungry. I had these toasts. I'm gonna link all of the ingredients for you below. They were really good. And then I also had a couple of yummy brownies, which I'm thinking of making a recipe, but I'll let you know the ingredients below. And if you want to see more videos and delicious recipes, be sure to click here on the screen.